Hello! In this video I continue to talk about living in Ukrainian countryside. I have already recorded several videos what to expect if you want to buy a house in Ukrainian countryside and live there. Be sure to watch them as I covered a lot of information that is really valuable and will be of interest to you. Now let's talk about other expenses that you will face if you buy a house in Ukrainian village. And just before we start, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. First, and I have already talked about it in my previous videos, but it's very important to repeat it once again. In about 97% of village houses in Ukraine, there is no toilet, nor bathroom, nor shower inside the house. And that's extremely inconvenient. So most probably when you buy a house in Ukrainian village, you will have to build a toilet, a bathroom or a shower, a septic, and connect water to your house. If you will not be building it all by yourself, expect to spend around $5,000 to $8,000 for toilet, for shower, for septic, and for connecting water and sewers to your house. You can save $2,000 to $3,000 if you do it all by yourself, but materials and delivery of materials will cost you around $3,000, $4,000 or maybe $5,000. It's really amazing that house with land can cost about $5,000, but building a toilet, a shower, a septic, and connecting water and sewers to your house can cost around $7,000, $8,000 or maybe even more $1,000. Second, maintenance and refurbishment. Expect to around $1,000 to $3,000 for maintenance and refurbishment in your house. Something will have to be repaired, changed, or maybe get rid of. Most probably some doors and windows have to be repaired or changed. Maybe a roof will have some leaks that have to be dealt with. Most probably you will have to buy a pump to get water in your house. Most probably you will have to fix a fence or a garage or a summer kitchen. So expect to spend from $1,000 to $3,000. It is for your convenience. It cannot be spent straight away, but if you want to live comfortably, you will have to spend it in maybe 2 months after you buy a house or in 1 year. Third, residence permit. If you decide to stay in Ukraine for more than 90 days, you will have to think about residence permit in Ukraine. I have already talked in this video about how not to spend money on getting residence permit, but if you decide to buy a house in Ukraine, I think you will have to move between Ukraine and maybe other European countries, maybe between Ukraine and your home country, if it is United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and so on. So idea of staying in Ukraine for 1, 2, 3 or more years will not be an option for you. I may suggest that after our victory, migration laws for citizens of United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and even some European countries may change, because these countries help us quite a lot in defeating terror Russia now. We will just have to wait and see what migration laws will be after our victory. At this moment, expect to spend around $1,500 to $2,500 additionally for getting this residence permit. But as I said a minute ago, after our victory, I think citizens of United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and maybe even some European countries will not need this residence permit. We just have to wait and see. Fourth, transportation. If you decide to live in Ukrainian village, you will have to buy a small cheap car or maybe some small SUV which will have 4x4 option. Let's see the prices and what is available right now. This is our biggest website for buying cars, auto.ria.com. And I asked my friend, who is an expert in choosing cars, which is the cheapest car for village. And he told me it should be Renault Sandero or Renault Duster. So we will search these two models, and we will start with Sandero between year 2007 and 2010. And here you can see the results. As you can see, prices start from around $5,000 for such car. And let's check this one out. 109,000 kilometers and 2010 year build. Seems like a good car. The plate number AT states that it is in Ivano-Frankivsk region. But it doesn't matter since we need just the price of such cars. Photos, as we can see, of no good quality, we cannot see the mileage. For a 13-year-old car seems like okay, at least what we can see from the photos. And here I notice something is wrong with the mileage. As you can see, seller claims that it is 109,000 kilometers. But 10 years ago, well, 10 years and 10 months ago, in 2012 in September, it was 63,000 kilometers. If it has been bought in 2010 and in 2012 it was 63,000 kilometers, it means car is driving about 30,000 kilometers per year, and there is no way that in 10 years it has driven only 45,000 kilometers. So something is wrong with this mileage, and I think it is maybe 200,000 kilometers minimum. And in this price we also get winter tires, 2 keys, and it says please call in Viber. So most probably owner is somewhere abroad. Here we can see that there were some problems with paint, so maybe there was some kind of small accident with this car. Because here it says that damages were professionally repaired. Okay, not a very good choice. So let's have a look at a more expensive option. And this one for $9,000 claims that 200,000 kilometers, and it is also run on gas, on LPG, which should be economical. And here we can see the description. I'm selling a very economical car, and seller writes that almost everything has been repaired, and he has changed the steering pump, the radiator, the clutch, changed the handbrake, all oils and all filters as well. And again, it is written here that professionally repaired damages, so also this car was in some kind of small accident. Maybe not small accident. And right here it says that car had 5 owners from 2012, and the last operation was 2 months ago, on 27th of April. So somebody bought it and it is sold again. Price is pretty high, but let's have a look at the quality of the car. And we can see that for a 14-year-old car it is pretty good. Well, it looks pretty good. But the price is pretty high, so let's have a look at another option. And as we can see, not so many options in these years. So let's try to change the year and look a little bit newer cars. For example, we can see that this Sandero 2011 year build was sold already, and it was sold yesterday. But let's have a look. 149,000 and no description. Only we know that from BB it is the car that has been registered in Lugansk region. But if car is good, well, it is sold pretty fast. Let's have a look at another option. This Sandero is 2013 year build, and it costs $7,300. And it is a diesel car, so it will be a little bit more expensive than petrol cars. It had 3 owners, and the last operation was in October 2021. It is claimed that car has 101,000 kilometers and almost excellent description of car, and it says here that car was in one family and that all services were done absolutely on time. He changed all the speakers, the head system of the car, so music is very good, installed USB chargers in car, there were no accidents, and car doesn't consume any oil at all, and owner is ready for any checkups. So let's have a look at photos. As we can see, photos are pretty good, quality is pretty good, car is registered in Kiev region. Seems like a good car, but as any car, it should be checked before you buy it. And there are many people who will help you with checking cars. It costs about like $200, but that expert will check the car and will recommend you which car to buy. So you can just hire a person for $200 or $300 and you can buy a good car. And here it says that a car hasn't been damaged at all, so no accidents. Let's have a look at this Sandero, which costs $7,000 and claimed to have 80,000 kilometers of mileage. This car had 3 owners. Last operation was on 28th May 2020, and car was re-registered because owner had some changes, either in registration address or maybe it was a surname change, I don't know. And again, look, owner claims that mileage is 80,000 kilometers now. 7 years and 9 months ago, mileage was 29,000 kilometers. So if car had 3 owners, and in 2015 it was 30,000 kilometers, and now it's 80,000 kilometers, well, something is wrong with the mileage. Let's look at the photos, and as you can see, the first photo shows 70,000 kilometers, not 80 as he claims. So this photo has been taken some time ago. Most probably he tried to sell it with mileage of 70,000 kilometers, then he has driven 10,000 more. But again, it can be checked, the total quality of the car. And we can see other photos. Photos are pretty good. But again, I don't know if I would buy such car. Maybe I will look at something else, not this car. And let's see some other cars. Well, we know that there is also a Renault Duster that can be bought for almost the same price. So let's check out Duster. And let's have a look at the first Duster, which is 10 years old. In Chernivtsi. We can see only 3 or 4 photos, but have a look at this. The car had only 1 owner, so that is why this price is pretty high. Well, it's not pretty high, maybe this car is worth that money, because we can see that only 1 owner was registered with this car, and the car has been bought on 30th October 2013, 9 years and 8 months ago, and it was the first registration of the car, so he bought it in Ukrainian saloon, so it was an absolutely new car. And it's a diesel car, and diesel cars are a little bit more expensive than petrol cars. And it is 71,000 kilometers mileage, which is not much for such car. And here it says that it is the first owner, so this is true because the car was registered only once, so it hasn't been re-registered, hasn't been sold, and because of this the price is $12,300 US, and such car can be sold pretty quickly after that if you drop it maybe 1.5 or 2,000. So for 10,000 you can sell it maybe in a matter of 1 day. And let's have a look at this Duster, 2010 year build, and have a look at this. 11 years ago it had 60,000 kilometers mileage. 11 years and 3 months ago. Now it is 143,000 kilometers. So mileage is not true here at all. And we can also see here that car had 7 owners. So it has been re-registered 7 times. And the last operation on 22nd June 2019, 4 years ago. Let's have a look at photos. Photos like okay, but 7 registrations, like in less than 2 years it made 60,000 kilometers, and then in 11 years only 80,000 kilometers. Well, something is not correct with that mileage, for sure. But also the price is 7,500. So you see the first car, it had only 1 owner and price is 12,000, and this one is almost 40% cheaper. But on photos looks pretty good. But let's have a look at this Duster for $9,000 US. Duster 2012 year build, so it's 11 years old car. And it had only 2 owners. It also can run on LPG. Here we can see that it had 2 owners, and last operation was on 28th September 2019. It has been sold. But again, have a look at the mileage. It was 67,000 kilometers 8 years ago, in April 2015. And now it is claimed it has 86,000. So in 8 years and 3 months it has driven only 19,000 kilometers, which is not true, of course. And let's have a look at photos. Seems like pretty nice car, but it has Donetsk plates, AH, and the mileage is very questionable. But the overall state of the car, I would say, is pretty good. But even though the quality seems to be okay, at least by the photos, I wouldn't buy this car because something is wrong with the mileage. And you can see other prices, that there are prices for $9,000, $10,000, $11,000, $7,000. So more or less good car would cost about maybe from $7,000 to $10,000, I would say. And if you want to sell it fast afterwards, you just drop the price like $1,500 and you sell it pretty fast. Fifth, driving license. Your driving license, if it is issued by United States, United Kingdom, Canada, European countries, is valid in Ukraine for 180 days from when you arrived to Ukraine. After 180 days you have to get a Ukrainian driving license, and after 90 days, of course, you have to get a residence permit. And procedure is not that you just go to Ukrainian police and say that you want to change your driver's license. Well, not to change your driver's license, but to acquire Ukrainian driver's license according to driver's license that you have from your home country. You will need a medical certificate, but that's not a problem. And then you will have to take a theoretical and practical exam. If you have driver's license already, there is no need to study in driver's school, which takes about 2 to 2.5 months. You just have to pass the theoretical and practical exam. And theoretical exam is the problem, because it is all in Ukrainian. And even we Ukrainians don't quite understand what questions may be. But many of you heard that Ukraine is a corrupt country, so this problem can be solved. I must say here that I know 1 British and 2 American men who live in Ukraine for 7 years. Well, British man lives for 7 years and 2 American men live for more than 10 years. All 3 of them have residence permits, but they didn't change their driver's licenses. They continue to use their American and British driver's license, and they don't have any problems with the police, even though they drive cars on Ukrainian plates, and those cars are registered at their names. Maybe you can ignore this recommendation for getting Ukrainian driver's license. But if you are to make one, it will be about $500 to $600 additionally. Sixth, small petrol generator. If you are planning to live in Ukrainian village, you should know that there are power outages in villages. So for comfortable living in Ukrainian village, you will need either a power generator or a small charging station. And especially in winter time, when power is disconnected and there may be no power for maybe 6, 7, 10 hours or even a whole day. There are power outages in villages even in summertime, when power consumption is minimal. In wintertime there might be a snowfall, and power may get just disconnected for a whole day. In such case, power lines get damaged all over the place. Then power will be fixed in big cities, then in villages next to those big cities, and then in smaller cities. And if you live, for example, 50 kilometers away from the city, you may be without power for 1, 2, or maybe even 3 days. If the weather condition is very bad, if it's a snowfall, better to have a power generator or a small charging station that can charge from some small solar panel maybe. And 7. Other expenses. I would add maybe 2, 3 or 4,000 for other expenses. You would most probably need some furniture. If village is serviced by security companies, you would have to install a security alarm, and that would cost about $500 to $700 more. For now, you should understand that if you want to buy a house in Ukrainian village that costs around $5,000, you should have available around 25 to 30,000 US dollars. If you haven't watched my previous videos, I am asking you to watch them and you will understand how I came to this particular number of about 30,000 US dollars. But that will be after you do all the maintenance, refurbishment, buy a small car, and buy some other necessary stuff that you will need actually. If you need my personal assistance help or advice, please feel free to email me at my email address, and I'm always glad to help those people who really need help. Feel free to ask questions in comments to this video. Don't forget to like it and subscribe if you haven't already done so. In the meantime, I wish you all good luck, success, happiness, joy, and of course, stay healthy and wealthy.